everybody. Welcome back to When a Gay Girl Meets a Trans Girl. I'm the gay girl.
And I am the trans girl, Brooklyn.
And I'm neither of the above.
You're the straight girl, right?
Something like that.
This is a special guest, and this is my mom. She's going to join us today and kind of give us a little bit of what she kind of has had to deal with me and the community, and basically going to get some ideas and thoughts about what she thought of the community before me, and we're going to kind of go from there. But just to start, how is everybody doing today?
Not too bad. Busy weekend.
I'm fine. Getting ready for exams. I've got one this week and then like 4 the following week.
Yeah. How's baby doing?
Fine.
You starting to show a little bump there yet?
She
Yes.
is. So
Yeah.
cute.
Yes.
Here in the next couple of weeks, she should start feeling the baby kick. I still put my head down on her belly, and I end up listening to see if I can hear the baby move around at all. And sometimes you hear like a little bit of it sounds kind of like an echoey noise. Kind of like it sounds almost like a movement maybe. I don't know if that's the baby or her stomach hungry, because she's always hungry. Or sleepy.
Are you growling all the time?
I don't know.
She's always hungry. She's like, I'm so hungry.
I do get hungry often.
Quite often, actually.
I get hungry and I'm not pregnant.
Well, me too. That's why I have a little bit more weight than the skinny girl over here.
I'm getting fat.
You're getting fat. What was it like when you first found out you were pregnant, Mom?
The very first time,
Yes.
I didn't know I was. It was New Year's Eve and we had gone to my sister's to party, and I thought I had eaten too much because I got so sick. Only the sickness didn't go away. And it didn't go away for 9 months. I was sick the whole 9 months with my first one.
That would suck.
So yeah, but it was an experience I didn't think I would ever do again. It wasn't, you can't ever think you know what it's like until you go through it. You know it's not going to be comfortable, but it was something I was not planned for. I wanted to go home when I was in labor.
Oh.
And John, my husband, said, well, you can't go home now. We got to finish it up now.
Point of no return.
Yep. So anyway, yeah. And we went on to have 4 more children. So I guess it wasn't as bad as what I thought.
Well, so when did you find out? Did you know, like, after you were getting sick, you're like, oh, I must be pregnant? Or did you, like, have to go to the doctor? You're like, oh, there's just something wrong with me.
I went to the doctor, but then I started wondering. Because obviously I had missed a cycle. And so then we started thinking that was possibly what was going on. And so I went to the doctor. I don't know, it was probably 2 or 3 weeks later, and found out for sure. But, in those days, you don't find out as early as you do now. You usually wait till you've missed like 3 cycles and you go in. And
Oh my God.
so you're already finishing up your first trimester when you're finding out.
Wow.
And you don't find out what you're having either, generally.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there were ways you could, but they didn't do sonograms all the time like they do now, I think they do that all the time for you guys now going in, But us, you don't have one. You didn't have one unless you were having some sort of problems. So I think the first, I'm trying to remember, the first sonogram, I think, having kids was probably the twins, which was my 3rd pregnancy.
So you didn't know what I was going to be before?
No, each time I had hoped for a girl. And when you were born, I was like, oh no, I've got to go through this all over again. I don't want to do this again.
Oh my God.
And doctor says, oh, he's a cute little tater. I'll keep him if you don't want him. And I said, no, I want him. But yeah, that's where that came from. The tater was the doctor.
And yeah, that was a nickname that I had, and it has actually been passed down to my youngest,
Yeah.
Tatum, which you guys have met. And we call him the little tater tot. Call him little tater.
Yeah,
which
he's
is
not so little anymore, and he's still the tater. We call him Tater Tot. He doesn't seem to mind.
No, he doesn't. Every now and then I tell him he's my little teeter-totter casserole, and he doesn't actually care.
We had at the baby shower when Tatum was getting ready to be born, or was already born. I don't remember which it was. We had a potato head sitting on a plate with tater tots.
Oh my god.
And it said, "A chip off the old potato."
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It was funny.
How do you feel about us naming our child after Brooklyn's original male name?
I love it. It made me want to cry. As a matter of fact, I know I did. But, anybody that knows me, I cry at everything. So it didn't take much, but yeah, it was very sentimental to me. And even talking about it now, it is. I'm like, I'm going to cry.
Having another little Joshua.
I call him little Joshy, little Josh, little Dos, my little boy. Yeah. Only this one will probably be a little ginger head instead of little toe head.
No.
I hope not. I don't
I
want
was a
little
towhead
redheaded
when I
boy.
was born, actually, too.
You were?
Yeah, I was platinum blonde, like super blonde.
Yeah.
Up until puberty.
And you became a redhead, and she still denies it. She thinks she's still very
she's
off-color
not-
blonde.
She's not red. I mean, it's just got highlights of kind of a reddishness. I have a brother-in-law that was a redhead, and when I see pictures of him, that's what I think of as a redhead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, somebody that was like a carrot top, they
Yeah.
called him. Yeah. So I don't think she's got extreme red hair. It's just kind of coppery colored, which is a brownish red.
It's cute, though. It
I
looks
like
cute.
it. Yeah, it's pretty.
She's got the paleness and the cute little squinty eyes and the red hair. Adorable.
I feel like a rat.
Right.
Why do you feel like a rat?
Squinty eye.
She does.
Oh.
She's got squinty eyes, doesn't she?
That's your look, kind of like you get a look from a baby or something. You're getting a look from Holly.
I just don't know if it's a good look or a bad look. Sometimes she just stares at me and her eyes squint, and I'm like, did I do something wrong? And she's like, no. And then other times I'm like thinking I do something nice, and she stares at me and squints, and I'm like, did I do something right? And she's like, no. I'm like, oh, dang. So, Holly, you have a nickname for the baby already.
Yes.
What is it?
Joshua.
Joshua.
Yes.
Joshua.
Because the movie Life is Beautiful. It's Italian and it's based in the Holocaust. The dad has like a little 4-year-old boy and his name is Josh. And he keeps calling him Joshua in Italian. And so, yeah.
That's cute.
The little boy was adorable. He was trying to like kind of prevent the little boy realizing that he was in a Holocaust camp. He was kept trying to make everything look fun for him. It's a very sweet, sad movie.
I'll have to check that out.
Have to watch that.
It's subtitles, definitely.
What was it called again?
Life is Beautiful.
There was another movie, actually, I started to watch, and it was really kind of, I think it kind of tugs at your heartstrings. And then you ended up finishing with me. It had Tom Hanks in it.
Oh.
It's called A Man Called Otto. And he's a very kind of disgruntled man. I recommend that movie to any of you out there. He actually ends up, it was crazy, he ends up meeting this kid eventually, and I forget kind of what the story was behind it, but
He was his deceased wife's student, and she was the only one that was nice to him.
yeah, and he was kind of like, well, why is that? You look fine. And he was like, well, I'm transgender. And she was the only one that like believed in me. And from that point on, he showed up at, I'm not going to kind of go into all the details and everything. It was an amazing story, but he showed up at the door and he was like, I just need a place to stay for the night. And he ended up becoming, I think, pretty close to him through that.
That's not like the whole premise of the movie.
No,
that's
it's
just
not.
like one little nice thing that he does, and the kid ends up kind of sticking around and stuff throughout the rest. But the guy is just very, very stale from his wife passing. Like, she was the sunshine, and he's kind of the darkness.
Yeah.
But he starts thawing out his little frozen heart.
Yeah. It's actually an amazing story, and it's one I wouldn't mind watching again, but it does kind of tug at your heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah, I've got to watch a movie like that when I'm not going to work, because then I go in with all puffy eyes and can't breathe. And
Well, one of these weekends, maybe you have to come over. You'll probably fall asleep through it. You like to sleep through movies.
I do.
It's a good movie, though. I recommend that. So I'd check out. It's called A Man Called Otto. It's like OTTO, and it's been out for a few years. Surprised, never heard of it. It actually did really well, and it was a German book that was just turned into a movie. But it's really good.
I was going to say Otto is a German name usually.
It is a German name, but they did Americanize it. People would be like, "That's not a name you hear very often." He goes, "I hear it all the time," and it's like, well, yeah, it's very true. But good movies.
So what's our topic now? What do we have going on?
Well, I guess I will pass this to my mom. We kind of have maybe a few questions here and there, but I guess the big one to start is, what did you think of the LGBT community before I came out? What was your opinion of it?
Well, first of all, I really never thought much about the extended name. It was more, what I grew up hearing more was gay. And I don't really even know what all those titles are still to this day. Even if I'm told, I don't think about it. I mean, to me...
Well, let's go over that.
She's not woke.
No.
We will wake her.
So, we'll go over it. You all do the letter. You say what it is. L?
Lesbian.
G?
Or as Blanche would think, Lebanese.
No.
Yes.
G?
Gay.
B?
Bi.
T?
Trans.
Q?
Queer. Plus pansexual, demisexual, whatever.
There's no way that I would even remember all that. Hearing the word queer, people used to call each other that when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, I
if
heard
you
that
were,
too.
Weird. If you were different, they'd call you a queer.
I always heard the word gay. Somebody would be like, "You're
gay,
so gay."
Also.
I would hear gay. I would hear queer if you're acting gay, like homosexual gay. But I'd hear gay if you're just acting dumb.
Yeah. I do remember hearing the word gay from a long time ago, but really did not know what it meant. There was a little girl that lived down our street, and that was her middle name, Gay, and that's what she went by, actually. She didn't go by her first name.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, maybe today she goes by her first name. I don't know.
Switched it back.
But, yeah, I mean, that goes to show that people really didn't think about that much that long ago.
I'm amazed that gay has been like an insult since like your time through our time even.
Well, it's just weird because you go back to like the 50s or 40s and gay was happy. It was exciting. Yeah. Even in the Flintstones, have a gay old time.
Yes.
It wasn't an insult. And I wonder what happened between
the 70s and early 2000s, because now it's not really one, but early 2000s it still was.
People just don't say it. I think they have more respect.
Things have changed though too. I mean, like Dad and I were just talking today, and when I was in like middle school age, they used the term squirrel a lot, or squirrely. And it just so happens to rhyme with my name, so,
Squirrely Shirley.
Yeah, I got called that a lot. And one of my camp names I gave myself long before that was Squirrel, because I thought they were cute. But, when I was in middle school, it was Squirrel. If you were a squirrel, you were weird. And also, if you wore white socks, they called you a white socker. And
wow.
That's changed, too. White socks are in. They're okay now. But, so things change through the years. For whatever reason, I don't know.
That's crazy.
But, yeah, I didn't really know much about the gay community, or definitely not trans. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
When did you first hear about, to your best recollection, that you know about trans?
I don't know. I couldn't really even tell you, because I never had a reason to talk to anybody about it. And I guess I thought of trans as not transgender. What I heard when I heard trans was transvestite.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I never knew there was a transgender. I always thought it was one and the same. And I don't even really know what that is. Is that somebody that likes to dress?
Yeah.
So transvestites are someone that likes to dress, but they love their gender. So males, or what do you call them?
I don't know. Females don't really get called that because it's always okay to act more masculine than effeminate. So they're usually butchy.
No. Transvestites are typically something you see in like a drag show. It's like a drag queen.
Yeah.
That, for the most part, is a transvestite. Now, there are some that are not, but it's just someone that it's a guy that likes to be a guy, and they want to dress up. Usually they go way over the top, and I hate that the name sounds so similar to a transgender because those are way two different things. And then you got like all these drag queens out there, and that's fine if you want to do that. I have nothing against it. I've been to drag shows before. They're fun. But I think that you kind of, as a transgender person, get put in the same grouping.
They do.
We're
They
not
associate the
thing.
same. I've got a friend that I work with that still thinks they're like the same. She doesn't know any more than I know. And I mean, I can set her straight on that because I know the difference now, but I never have.
Yeah.
I've really never gone any further with any of this other than knowing what a gay person was. And so then when I heard the term lesbian, I'm like, well, wait a minute. If they're gay, what's a lesbian? What's a dyke? I don't know what all these terms are.
What is a dyke, Holly?
Very insulting term towards a lesbian.
Is it?
So what's a lesbian?
A lesbian is a woman that's attracted to only women. And gay, which I still call myself gay because I think that's interchangeable, but they like to separate them by gay for gay male, lesbian for gay woman. Confusing.
Yeah. But then you have a
So
dyke.
they don't have a term for a guy.
Gay.
Just gay. They don't
It's-
have another term
If
for
they
him.
separate it, it's supposed to be gays, and that's gay males and lesbians.
Then you have a dyke, which is typically
A very rude butchy, or a very rude term for usually a butchy girl.
it's a very masculine lesbian girl.
And then a fag is a very rude term for a gay male.
Yeah.
Let's see, now I wouldn't know that. When I was younger, fag was
The cigarette thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I
What-
don't know. You know,
So-
I don't really follow all that. People are people, and I mean, I have ideas that I grew up with and stuff that was instilled in me through my parents and through religion and everything, and that's where a lot of my thoughts and feelings had come from until my son came out as a transgender woman. So I've had friends through the years that have been gay and probably transgender even, and I didn't know. I never knew anybody that was transgender. I do now. I have worked with a transgender girl. And there's a big uproar at work by some of the people there because they made some of our bathrooms into like either or, a boy-girl family type bathroom. And it was because of her when she got there, because she did not feel comfortable going into either one of the male or the female because of what they would, people might say or do. Because she was looking more female. She wasn't really dressing more female, though. She kind of dressed more masculine, but she was definitely transgender. So, people have a lot of questions. They don't know. Like I didn't know. They did not know, and they still don't.
I think just a lot of people are just really scared of transgender or gay, and therefore that's why there's limitations on them, because they really don't want to get to know people like that. They don't want to know. I mean,
I don't
to
think
me,
it's scared. I think it's hateful.
well, I mean, to me, I want to go to the bathroom. I just need to go to the bathroom. I'm not in there to do anything to anyone any more than I would do that to a guy. It's just the bathroom.
Let me give you my take on that, and this is where I thought also before. You're that way, and maybe there is a lot of people that are that way, but you've got a certain part of society that preys on children and other people, and they may use that guise to get into a place, and it gives you a bad name.
There's actually no records of that, though. That is not a common practice at all.
But this is what I think people are afraid of, because when I've been at work and coworkers have discussed it,
Yeah.
that's what they talk about.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous.
So they feel like it's something that could happen. Well, how do you know that, they're not just dressed up to get in there?
The thing is, here's my point on that, though. If they're dressed up to get in there, let's say they're going after a woman or after a young girl or something, what's going to stop them out on a playground? What's going to stop them in around the corner, when the kid runs off or something? I mean, that person's going to try to do it regardless, and that puts a whole group of people as somebody that is trying to attack someone when that's not the case.
And those are usually the same people complaining. Well, they're usually the same people against gun laws, like being super, super strict. It's usually the liberals are saying, like, get rid of guns, and the conservatives are for guns. Usually the people that are making the bathroom claim are also the conservatives. So I'm like, which way do you want to wash the law right now?
Yeah.
I've never claimed to be anything in particular, liberal or right or left, or I don't even like the Democrat-Republican term. I believe a certain way. This is me. I don't really want to be grouped into any of those. Let's just vote. You have people run for office according to what you believe. Why do you have to sign up to be, I'm Republican, I'm Democrat? I don't like that. I don't like being grouped like that. I want to be me and what I think and feel and what I think is right.
Yeah, that's also how I am. I am independent. I didn't choose a party.
So would you use the restroom if you saw, let's say you were getting ready to walk in and you saw somebody that was transgender, that looked pretty passable, but they were walking in to use the restroom? Would you feel uncomfortable? Would you think twice about it?
Well, I know you, and it wouldn't bother me being around you or maybe even friends, but I would have to say I might be uncomfortable yet. I don't know. I've never really had that happen to know how I would feel.
Not
because
that you know
you usually
don't
know of it, because
right.
if you use the bathroom you look like you should be in.
Because I feel uncomfortable even when I know maintenance is knocking at the door.
Yeah.
I just do. I don't know what it is. I just feel uncomfortable about that. And I think it's just a stereotypical thing that, a guy's going to walk in on me type of thing. I don't know. That's something I'm going to have to work on yet. But, I don't have anything against any of these groups of people at all. I've had many friends through the years, for sure, that are gay.
So if you
still do.
If you got a gay person that is attracted to your gender, how is that any different than maybe a trans person being around a trans person?
That would make me feel uncomfortable too, I think. That's just, off the top of my head, and I don't know. Some of this stuff is still new to me. I'm not saying that's 100%. I've not had to deal with that a lot. I really don't think about it too much, because I know there are girls that I work with that are gay. I know it for a fact. And really, they don't bother me in the bathroom.
Exactly.
So,
kinda...
but I don't give myself time to think about it either. Plus, it's not like the guys' bathrooms, from what I hear, they just stand at urinals most of the time, and women are behind a closed door.
Yeah.
Because I've even been in a girl's dressing room before, where they had no doors or nothing. They just were open. And I'm uncomfortable about that. I am not one of these people that likes to disrobe, even if it's another female.
Oh, I hated
we've
gym
got
class
we've got the same body, but you know what? I am uncomfortable. I don't like doing that in front of other people. I never have, and it has nothing to do with whether a person would be gay or transgender or anything like that. It's just my own personal feeling. I've always was uncomfortable in the hospital too, giving birth and all that. All these people coming in.
That's what I'm keep worrying about.
But but the thing with that is you're in a lot of pain and things are going on.
Just kind of like I don't care. Just get it
out.
Just
don't care. Just get it over with. I don't care. And then you start. Well, they've seen it all before every day, so who really cares?
No.
But yeah, I always have to. Even laying in the doctor's office, I have to think. They've seen it every day. But there's a certain uncomfortableness that I feel with different circumstances. I just have to let it go.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and even doing a mammogram does that.
Well, so kind of moving on a little bit, how did it feel the day that I told you that I was trans? What went through your mind?
You know, I remember I cried.
I remember that. I remember sitting on the couch and you were on the opposite couch and you just started crying and crying.
But I really didn't know what that meant either. At first, I felt a sigh of relief because I didn't really know what it was you were telling me. And I remember Nathan telling me, he's the same person. He's the same person. It doesn't matter. And I said, yeah, but he wants to dress like a girl. I felt like I was losing somebody, like somebody died. That's really how it felt. It felt like somebody died. And
I think that's very common. You hear about that a lot, about somebody dying, and there's ways to get around that. Sometimes they have funerals, sometimes they have rebirth parties, sometimes, they just do like a connection party where, you...
I've heard about all those, yeah.
Yeah, where you might dress up as the boy and then halfway through the party dress up as the girl and you show that you're still the same person. You're just different.
I miss... I'll be starting to cry. I miss my Joshua, but I'm used to seeing Brooklyn now too. So, and I love you the way you are. It's you're still
I love you too, Mom.
You're still my baby, and it doesn't matter. See, it doesn't matter what you look like or what you have on. I still love you.
Well, I'm still the same person.
Yeah, I see that.
So if I went back to being a guy, would you miss Brooklyn?
I have no idea. You'd really probably confuse me then. I have a hard time. I know I've told you this before, and when I'm talking to other people, I still have a hard time with it. But in the beginning, it was really hard getting my pronouns right, and I still have that issue. But I have to stop and think before I say he, she, because my brain is confused yet. Because for how old were you? 40? 39? I can't remember.
37?
30, it was like 36.
So for 36 years, you've been this little boy grown into a man, a father, married, children. And so it's hard to change all this in your brain. And so when I'm trying to say she, it doesn't always come out right, or I have to really stop and think, who am I talking to? I do that with my other kids now. I'm like, no, he's a he. That's right. He's a he. I do. It has really messed with my mind about trying to make sure I'm using the right pronouns. But yeah, I can say, it wasn't how I was raised. I don't remember my parents or really religion talking about it so much. It was just kind of a known thing about people, and you always heard that. I heard a lot of people anyway, not everybody. I've worked with some people at work that have family members that have been gay. I don't know about transgender, but I know gay. And they would argue with me that it's not a choice, and I'd say, yes, it is a choice. Why do they do this, this? And I don't believe it is a choice now. I really don't.
Yeah, I would not choose this.
I've had enough conversations with my child here, and you, Holly, too.
Yeah.
I think it takes people knowing somebody or talking, getting close enough to talk and hear about your feelings and how you grew up. And I know it has been hard for Brooklyn, and it's not something. Why would a child choose to do that? Why?
Mm-hmm.
You have so many unaccepting people. You have people that like to kill people or hurt them, because of who they are, which is wrong.
Yeah.
If another human being is not hurting you, they're just trying to live their life. Why do you have to act that way towards them?
You just got a lot of people that want you to be like them. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people don't get that there are so many different kinds of people out there. There's, even the ones that are similar to them are not like them. It's just everybody has a degree of differences, whether it's polar opposite or a little bit closer, and they happen to hate the ones that are more on the other end of the scale with them, which is unfortunate, but this is the world we live in. Very hateful.
You know, and it's not just this. There's so many things in life that people disagree upon, and, you know, that is why we do have the problems we have in the world today that we have. You see the issue going on not only with gays and transgender community, but the guns and anything political. Look at how many different groups you have of people, and you never know who to even believe anymore, because you can turn on this channel and hear something, and turn on this channel and hear something else. And who do you believe? I think, you know, a lot of it you have to come to your own conclusion and feel what's right in your heart.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I wish more people did that.
And, you know, I think your dad was a whole lot the same way as me, and I think he still has a hard time with it, but there has been some things that, you know, he has surprised me with.
I've noticed he's been coming around. Actually, at Brooklyn's birthday party, he was talking to one or two of your kids, and he was like, "Oh, I mean, Brooklyn's over there," and I was just like, "Wow."
Yeah, and one time we were in a restaurant, and I can't remember what it was, if we were having an issue there, but one of the waiters or waitresses came up, and we noticed her name tag was Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And so when we were calling to talk to customer service about what had happened at this restaurant, John says, he's standing behind me and says, "Well, tell him we remember her name because we have a daughter named Brooklyn." And I was like, did I hear that right? But, you know, he's going to be real slow about it, but he's come around a lot. Because before, he wouldn't have even wanted to step out the door. If you were dressed in girl clothes, he wouldn't want to step out the door.
I think it's a lot of it's I'm more passable now, and I've had like a lot of surgeries, and I think I look a lot more like a girl. I think a lot of people don't. I still get looks every now and then at work where somebody will walk in and they'll like start to talk to me, and when I open my mouth,
your voice.
They're like, oh, and you can kind of tell that's where it hits them. The face doesn't. They don't think twice about my face, because very feminine, of course, especially with makeup and dolling up and everything.
And plastic surgery.
And the plastic surgery. The nose. The cheekbones. The brow. All of it.
The boobs.
The boobs.
Yeah.
The bottom. They haven't seen that, though. Some ask.
I thought you meant your butt. I was like, what happened to your butt?
Isn't that okay, never mind.
I do have people ask. I had somebody ask the other week. She was like, "Can I ask you questions?" And she was like, "I'm supportive of this, but I just never met anyone." And we talked for probably about 20 minutes, and she was like, "May I ask what surgeries you've had?" And I talked to her about all of it and the experience and everything. And
was this someone that came in at work?
Just a customer. And I thought it was pretty neat. I've had that happen before, and I like the...
See, that's what people need. They need to hear somebody talk and find out why, because it's just, to a lot of people it's new and they don't know anything about it. So I think they are afraid of it somewhat because they don't feel it's normal. What normal is, but what is normal?
No one's,
exactly.
There's no one normal out there.
As long as you're not hurting anybody, who cares?
But
that's what I say.
That's something I love at work, and I've said it on here before. You know, you get to have people walking in, and you have children that walk in and will meet me and other adults and stuff, and I'm kind of the first experience with that to a lot of people. And to be able to have a smile and show them that I'm not this bad person, I'm hoping that I can change, at least a few people's minds just by me being there. Oh, this person isn't really that bad. I'm hoping that that's what they walk away with most of the time.
You changed that one guy that when we were delivering newspapers, remember him? How he was hiding and he wanted to come out and you talked with him? I can't remember his name. He was a little bit older guy.
I've talked to a few people. I had a friend that brought her... It was a daughter at the time, and she was wanting to transition, so we went and had dinner, and we talked about it with her kid, and she has since completely come out as trans and lives her life as a male and has met a girl, and they have they have a pretty good life together. I'm friends with them on Facebook still. But helping one person at a time, even if it's once a year, it makes me feel good.
Superhero Trans Brooklyn.
That's
She's
right.
the T girl.
That's
Well,
right.
okay.
Super T.
I've got a question for you just because of what you just said there. You are a girl, and you are a girl. Well, I know you like girls because you're gay. Does that make you a gay transgender?
She's not gay. She's bi.
It's bi?
Well, I mean, she herself is bi. Some trans girls are gay. They only like other females. She likes both.
You like what?
Actually, well,
You
I
like
guess
both?
Both.
You like guys too?
Well, I'm
This
actually
is a
not.
first for me.
I'm actually. Oh God. Sorry. I guess I'm not actually gay though. Since I also like trans girls, I'm something else, right?
Aren't you pan?
I think I'm pan.
Pansexual.
Technically, because I like trans girls also.
Well, this is
It's so confusing.
I am actually not transgender. I am transsexual
Because she's post-op.
because I have female parts now.
The little bit.
So that is something
well,
completely.
I didn't know there was a difference.
She didn't know what that. She didn't know it either. It took me listening to one of my professors because we talk about human rights and everything in a lot of my classes and treating everybody like they're people. And he was like, "This is transgender. This is transsexual. This is blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, that makes sense."
I won't remember that, I can tell you now, but you're the gay girl and you're the trans girl.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
But I always wondered, why is it, your brain had you just liking females yet you felt like a girl, but you're saying you do like guys too?
I wouldn't say I am not interested in romantic relationships with guys. I have never been.
I don't want to do this.
I have never had. I've never ever romantically liked someone. I've never had the idea of marrying them. But you're just getting a kick out of this.
Is there something I'm missing?
No.
Oh dear.
I'm just saying, like, I do think that there are cute guys out there, is the thing.
Well, I think there's cute girls.
But in my opinion, I don't know how far that goes because I am not interested in a relationship. I don't want to marry one. I wouldn't be interested in...
She's made this very PG.
Yes.
It's what she's trying to hint at.
Yeah, it is a very... I guess a casual. I just think there are some cute guys out there.
We'll have to pick this up later.
I don't know what else to say. That's about it. Holly's still going.
Well, you know what? I don't really care either way. It doesn't make me any difference. I always just wonder.
I don't ever see bringing a guy home if I wasn't married. I'm not interested in them that way. Are you done over there?
I'm so embarrassed for you. But
It's okay. It's not as big of a deal as what it maybe seems to be. You're gonna be hurting baby over there just laughing like crazy. But we can move on here.
Laughter's good.
Unless you have anything else to say.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I do have an article here. It's actually, I just kind of wanted to talk about Mother's Day a little bit more.
oh god.
And ways that you can make Mother's Day more inclusive. Do we need a break? My love.
It hurts. Don't know why I'm still laughing.
Don't
It might be pregnant hormones. I don't know what it is. At first it was... I haven't laughed this hard in years.
So, moving on.
I can step out if you'd like. I'll be back. I could get some water.
She's still over here laughing. We had to take a 5-minute break for her because she couldn't stop laughing. There is a website called Opinion B. It's actually opinionb.org/articles/celebrating ways that include all LGBTQ families. This is actually a really, really, really good. It's a long, long article. I'm not really going to read it all. But there's actually a section in there. What can families do to make Mother's Day more inclusive? And I'm just going to kind of read that paragraph. See if I can find just says expert advice. It doesn't say who wrote it.
Is that like for kids that have two moms?
Maybe. I think it's just for everyone that has different kinds of families all around. And I think this would apply to...
The top of it shows a little boy holding two adult women's heads, so I'm assuming it's...
Speaking of two moms, are you going to be considered mom for the baby?
If we
or
didn't
you dad?
have children prior, but since they're already around, we're just
going to stay with Dad because the other kids know me as that, so I'm just going to kind of go with that. But here's the article. What all families can do to make Mother's Day more inclusive. The article goes on to say that friends and family can be supportive of an LGBTQ family by honoring how they choose to spend the holiday. They can put an emphasis on all loving relationships a child has instead of a specific relationship they may not have. Any parent can talk to schools about planned Mother's Day or gendered activities, not only LGBTQ parents. Another way to include all families is to ask store managers for gender-neutral or otherwise inclusive holiday cards. You can see some of the cards at your store and let them know that you appreciate it.
I've seen them.
But that's very interesting. I imagine that, you get to Mother's Day, and let's say you have two male parents. I imagine that could be hard for a kid. Maybe. I don't know if they grow up that way.
Kids don't care about Mother and Father's Day. They don't even, really think of it. All they think about is, hi, Mommy, love you. And it takes the dad to be all like, don't forget it's Mother's Day. Give them this macaroni drawing. Kids don't pay attention to that at all. They care about birthday, Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's outside. It's outside society that,
It's the
brings all
mothers
that
care. The mothers that like to have their day of, I do all this stuff to help raise this family, and I get a day to be appreciated.
Okay. So, can you either of you think of any other ways that it might help to be inclusive towards the children or the parents that going into Mother's Day or Father's Day?
Well, the Owl House, as I have spoken about before, is the most amazing show ever. Willow had two dads, and so she always said her parents, and at one point she said her dads, and I think she definitely expressed loving her dads as her parents, and I don't know, she didn't really express being sad about not having a mother, but this is in the witch realm, so it's kind of different. You don't have to actually have intercourse to have a child. They can do magic stuff to help it along. So they have already grown up in a society where there's not this whole dynamic of a mother-father figure. A lot of them do have that, but a lot of them don't have that. So, I don't know. I think one day we'll get to that point, but I don't know. It depends on the kid. Some kids a lot of kids I know that have two of the same gendered parents don't care at all. And they're like, if it's Mother's Day, I have two moms.
Yeah, I just wondered. I was just sitting here thinking about that, wondering how does a child feel in school if their friends maybe are celebrating Mother's Day and they have two fathers, what do they do?
A lot of them, I don't know, the people I've talked to, they don't care. They're like, I have two parents that love me. Some of them are curious, who was my other parent, as any adopted kid or any kid from that process would wonder. But they're usually just happy, because usually if you're gay and you're having a child, as a gay male especially, because they have to go through a lot more to have one, they're just happy to have two people love them and raise them.
Are you planning on sharing with your little one the process that you went through?
Oh yeah, we definitely will. We'll do it age appropriate as he's growing, but we'll make sure that he's well aware of it.
I know someone that would be neat to talk to is the surrogate baby that Amy carried. I still keep in touch with the two guys. They're, I don't even know what country they're in. They're not in
Weren't
the United
they
States.
Swedish, I think?
I don't remember. I was just asking Dad today, and I don't remember.
Amy is her daughter-in-law and Brooklyn's sister-in-law.
Yeah.
She has a gay brother, and I think we've spoken about her before, but she was a surrogate for her brother, so they could have...
No, not her brother.
Oh, not her brother?
It was just two people they didn't know from another country.
But her brother's also gay.
They were chosen, actually, by the couple.
Wow.
They had one other child already, another daughter.
Oh.
And this daughter is from the same, I believe it's the same egg and sperm. But she was the surrogate. She's the one that carried the baby for them.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like twins, so I'm assuming they came from the same parents.
Oh, yeah.
But, they seem like a wonderful couple, and I see them doing all kinds of things online all the time, Facebook, and I still talk to them.
That'd be something I would, if I could carry a baby, that's something I would do. I'd do it for a couple from the LGBT community. I'm sure it's really hard for them to find people that are interested in doing that for them. But I have a picture here. This is actually something I made, Holly. I didn't obviously draw the pictures or anything, but I did the collage, and then I had this made.
I thought you bought it.
No, I made it.
It's the owl house, and it has Lumity on it. Loose
the
and
two
How did you
J
make
girls.
that?
I collected the pictures, and then I made a collage. I actually had a collage maker, and I inserted all the pictures and everything. This background here, we'll have to put a picture on Facebook. This background was something that I found and I chose because it's kind of more of a magical show. So it looked magical, and the colors actually matched, I felt like.
Yeah.
Who they were, the colors that they wear. So I made that for her, and it was just a random gift to her about a month ago.
Were you surprised?
Mm-hmm.
That's
And then,
neat.
so she's actually bi. She's actually lesbian. And then,
So again, bi,
yeah.
like
She's
male
attracted
and
to male
female?
and female. She's
Okay.
attracted to only female.
Okay.
But, like, they were, like, I think around 14, and then they grow up to, like, right here, they're almost 18. They're in college. So they end up falling in love, and it's so sweet.
The girl with the green hair, what's her name?
Amity.
Amity. She actually starts
that
to
name.
color her hair pink.
Like her abomination, which is her magic.
Yeah.
And then Luce is Latina.
So is this a movie?
It's
or-
a Disney cartoon.
It's a series
it's
on
a series.
on Disney.
And then she
never heard
was,
of it.
her dad passed away. It was from 2020 and it lasted until this past April. It ended on season 3. It's so good and so inclusive.
You can only see it on the Disney Channel.
She has it on Plex for me. I already have been
Is that something
rewatching
I
episodes.
can see on Plex?
Yeah, you can watch it on Plex.
I love it.
It takes a good season, I feel like, to get into the relationships.
Yeah, the first season is more of a cartoon, like different things are happening. But then the second season, they found out that it was going to be getting canceled on the third season or ending. So they started making the story go faster. So the second season really picks up. It goes slow story. And then the third season, it's 3 1-hour episodes. It's kind of like a long movie. So good.
It's anime though.
It's cartoon.
Yeah.
It just looks kind of anime-ish with the pointy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so good.
And the big eyes.
Yeah. So
Gay gaming.
I guess we'll move on to gay gaming. What do you have for gay gaming?
Staxbl.
What is Staxbl? That's actually one I've never heard of.
Staxbl is a voxel game. It's kind of like Animal Crossing and Minecraft put together. On Steam, it's about $20. I have it on the Switch. I think it's about $20 also. It's another Humble Games game. It's got very positive reviews on Steam. Came out in 2019. But the reason why I mention it is, well, one, I like the voxel look a lot. Two, the gay part is, well, in a way, you can be a male, which I guess is also good for trans, but you can have like girl haircuts or even wear dresses if you want to. Like there's not a gender lock on clothing and on like hairstyles. So
Is that what makes your gay gaming gay when you talk about it? Is because you don't have those locks on
A lot
that
of it-
type of stuff?
yeah, because a lot of people, like, she would like to sometimes be like have a male voice but look like a girl because you kind of want your character to be like you.
Right.
And then me, I don't like wearing dresses and skirts like they make a lot of female characters wear. I want to wear pants and a t-shirt. And a lot of games, a lot of games didn't even have girls in it, but if they did, you had to wear a stupid skirt or something. But a lot of guys actually like playing as girls now. They usually like to make their girl characters like their girlfriends or girls that they think are pretty. But it's really coming around. And if you don't have, like, if you do have your clothes gender locked, a lot of people actually negatively review that these days. Because, I mean, it's your character. It's fun to make them like you. But yeah, there's farming. There's a little village with people, furniture. It's block based, kind of like Minecraft.
So I was gonna say, it seems like a cross between Minecraft and Animal Crossing almost.
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
Oh, goodness, I
when
wouldn't
I
listen.
introduced the game.
I mean, I'm looking at screenshots from it, and it looks pretty fun.
Yeah, it is. I like it.
How long have you been playing this?
I actually got it back in 2019, but I re-downloaded it yesterday and started replaying it. Oh, you can also be like a kitty person if you so boldly would like to.
Like to play as a furry?
I like to be the little fairy. I like having the pointy ears. They don't actually speak. It's like text talk. And it is multiplayer. You can play with other people.
Is it an online game or...
Online co-op.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun game. If you're looking for something that's different, or if you like voxel, I would recommend it. I wouldn't say it's like AAA, like amazing, like Minecraft, but it's fun to sink some time into.
Yeah. Well, that's a game. It was Staxbl, is that what you said?
Yep, Staxbl.
So Staxbl.
I know it's on the Switch and on Steam. I'm not sure about other services.
We'll go find it. Looks like a fun game. Looks like something very interesting to play.
And so then we were going to ask Shirley about her games.
She's not much of a gamer, but let's go back to the 70s and 80s. What were your favorite kind of games?
I still like puzzle games. I like Dr. Mario, where the little pill-shaped things would drop and you'd match the colors.
I still like that one.
But I like playing against somebody because I can do that pretty good. I guess I'm a little competitive. It's more fun to play against somebody. I did learn how to play the original Mario.
I remember growing up wanting you to play because you could get further than any of us. And I remember you getting to the very end and finally beating Bowser on Mario 1.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that. I didn't like some of the newer ones that came out, though. I just didn't care for them. But
I'm just not sure she could get through the first level now.
No, probably not. I know the kids have had me try some of the Mario games, and I cannot seem to get through them like that anymore. But I mean, I still like to play, but I'm more into the puzzle type games. I'm not into the,
you
building
like
and
Bejeweled too, right?
I like Bejeweled, yes.
I see you playing that, and you like all the puzzles and all that.
I like the puzzles. Yeah.
And you used to like, I remember I had memories of, this had to have been like the mid-'80s, where, we'd have a little tiny TV, and you'd have the Atari 5200 out, and you'd be playing Pac-Man or Frogger, or...
I like all those old games.
A lot of those.
Centipede. What's
Kangaroo, or...
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about.
This is before your time. You were still just a gleam in an eye. This would have been...
Well, back in the day when I was a kid, all we had was something called Pong, I think is what it was, on black and white TV.
I've heard of that
And
one.
it was like table tennis is all. And you're boom, 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 the ball back and forth. But it was just a line. Your paddle could be small or wide. And you were just playing ping pong with the other person. And we thought that was pretty amazing. On black and white TV.
Wow.
Well, those games, I still have a lot of them. I actually collect a lot of the old Atari games, 2600, 5200. I have Nintendo,
And
the original Nintendo.
The 26 came out before the 52?
Yes, the 2600, I believe, was the first one.
So, is it like saying Nintendo, Super Nintendo?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yep, the cartridges.
Which one did I have then? Mine was that sleeker one.
You had the 5200,
Okay.
the Atari 5200, and then your sister Sandy had the 2600.
Yeah, we babysat that for a couple weeks.
But she had a ton of games, and you could use different controllers
Circus
on it.
Atari was fun, but I was pregnant, and when John would be playing that, it would be like a little teeter-totter in a, I don't know if it was a clown, I don't remember, or just a person, like a stick person, and it would jump up and down, and there would be blue, yellow, and red dots going across that were supposed to resemble like balloons, and you would pop your little man up and try to knock out all the balloons.
And you'd have to catch him, or
And-
he'd hit the
Yeah,
ground.
you'd have to
and
catch
splat.
him on the teeter-totter, or you'd lose your life, if he didn't land on the teeter-totter. But that thing would, when it would hit the bubbles at the top, it would go bloop, 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 bloop. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's making me sick. He'd have to play it with the volume down because I was pregnant and the sound made me nauseous.
That's weird.
And anything with little bubbles floating across. There was a sign on one of the banks in town, and we'd drive by it, and if it didn't have a message, it just had rolling dots. I'm like, I'd get nauseated.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, there's some strange stories.
Interesting.
Well, I do have a question. I actually want to ask you the same question I asked Holly real quick last week. So, going back to being trans or the opposite gender, did you listen to last week's episode?
I did.
What was the question I asked her? Do you remember?
I don't even remember.
You're asking me something from last week. I can't remember yesterday.
Okay. The question is, if you could be a guy for a whole week, would you be a guy?
Now, if there's money involved, though.
No. Without money.
For a week, yes, I would be a guy. I would like to see how it feels.
Would you be a guy for a year?
Not unless like that. There has to be money involved. I don't know that I'd be that comfortable.
How about a guy for a year for $1 million?
You bet.
You have to go to the bathroom like a guy.
$1 million, sure. Yeah.
One year out of your life.
That's fine.
There'd be two
I
grandpas.
can handle that. I can handle that for a year. A year goes by fast.
1 year with 2 fathers for Father's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like that's all we got today. We have a little bit of an extra long episode. We will be back next week. We're actually getting really close to our season finale for the summer. Unless you guys have anything to say, I think that's it, right?
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Everyone, yes.
And to all a good night.
Well, thanks for joining us, Mom.
Even the mommies with fur babies.
Yes. And I love you, and thanks for joining us.
I love you too.
Don't forget to check out our Facebook page, and...
I withhold my love.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on our show. Don't forget to check out our other shows wherever podcasts are available. And if you're in the position to help our podcast grow, please join us at patreon.com/GGirlTgirl. And check out our Facebook and Instagram page for more updates and messages at gaygirl/transgirl. And please hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you.